are certain things that you as an individual, you as a young lady, you as a young man, you should never do against your father. There are some things you can see without having the intention to look at them. Turn your eyes away. Hello, thank you for joining me. Today I just want to share with us some few things here, and the topic is things you should never do against your father. Things you should never do against your father. Why have I said father and not a mother? Why a father? I've said a father because it is a father who can bless the children. It is a father who can bless, and also it is a father who can curse. Fatherhood is an office. Fatherhood is an office. A father is a leader of the family, is an authority. And you see, Rebecca never argued with this, that it is a father who can bless. So there are certain things that you as an individual, you as a young lady, you as a young man, you should never do against your father. Kabisa, should never do against your father. And one of these things that you should never do against your father is, number one, never mock your father. Never mock your father. This is found in the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 9, verse 22 to 23. 22 to 23. Abraham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked, and told his brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulder. Then they walked in backwards and covered their father's naked body. Their face were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. So here we get a man by the name Ham, who saw his father's nakedness. And then one of the things that he did, he just went outside and he shared with his brothers. That is Japheth and Shem. So these two, they took a sheet and they went and covered their father. They entered the house in a wise way so that they will not see their father's nakedness. I want you to know that in this life, you should never mock your father. Why was Ham sharing this information with his brothers? Allow me to submit it to them, to you, that he was sharing this information to mock his father. Come and see, come and see, come and see. I've just seen our father's nakedness. Come and see our father's nakedness. Come and see the way he looks like. Come and see. The guy was mocking his father. Ham, after seeing the nakedness of his father, went and told his brothers. And what attracted the curse was telling his brothers. That's where the curse is coming from. He could have just covered his father. But once you took notice of them, turn your eyes away. What is that thing that you have seen in your father? What is that thing that you have seen in your mother? What is that wickedness? What is that thing that we call shame that you have seen? That instead of you covering their weakness, instead of you covering their nakedness, you are exposing their nakedness. You are exposing the weakness of your father. Maybe you are here and you are educated than your father. But now because you are educated than your father, you use that to mock your father. I want you to know that do not imitate what your father normally do with an intention to mock him. Be a covering to your father. Don't laugh. Don't speak against your father. don't mock your father. But when you mock your father, know that you are attracting a curse. And if you have mocked your father, it is time for you to repent and go and seek forgiveness from your father. So today we are saying that never mock your father. Another thing that you are not supposed to do against your father is never make a move against your father. Never make a move against your father. You know, Jesus was a spiritual father to Judas and Peter. Jesus was a spiritual father to Judas and Peter. And Judas made a decision to betray Jesus. He made a move against Jesus by going to the Pharisees and telling them to give him telling them to give him money so that he can take them where Jesus is. That was Jesus making a move against his father. Absalom also made a move against his father. He was sitting at the entries and at the gate of the city, and hearing the cases that people are bringing and say, oh, if I was the king, I could have given you the right judgment. So Absalom wanted to take over the kingship from his father David. So Absalom made a move against his father David. Reuben also made a move against his father by going to his father's bed. By going to his father's bed, he made a move. Let me try and get it. He made a move. Genesis 49. Let me try and get it. This one we must read. Genesis, I think, it's Genesis 49, verse 3 to 4. Listen to the curse that Jacob is releasing upon Reuben, because Reuben made a move against him. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the first sign of my strength, exceeding in honor, exceeding in power. This is Reuben exceeding in honor, exceeding in power. By listening to the curse, turbulent as the waters, you will no longer excel. For you went up unto your father's bed, unto my couch, and defiled it. Never make a move against your father. Stealing his business, stealing money from him, stealing his business associates. Do not be an Absalom. Reject the spirit of Absalom. The third thing that I want you to know is that never forget what your father has done for you. Never forget what your father has done for you. Ham forgot what his father did for them. You see, it was his father who was counted as righteous. Ham survived because of his father Noah. All the children of Noah, they survived because of Noah. Because it was Noah who was found to be righteous. It was Noah who had a good relationship with God. So, by mocking Noah, that means Absalom forgot what his father had done for him. Always remember what your father have done for you. Never forget your father's effort. Never forget what your father has done for you. Always remember what your father has done for you and honor him for that. You are where you are today because of your father's covering. You are where you are today because of your father's pain, your father's sacrifice. So it is a grievous evil for you to forget what your father has done for you. The last thing that you should never do against your father, never repay good with evil. Never repay good with evil. If you plant evil, you will harvest evil. And I want you to know that there are many good things that your father has done for you. Maybe there are one or two mistakes that he committed But surely, those mistakes can be forgiven. Concentrate on the good things that your father has done. And know that fatherhood is an office. Whether your father is wicked, whether he's evil, he is your father. Honor him for that. Your father has done a lot for you. It is time for you to start to honor him. Any man who honors his or her father has a supernatural wisdom. It is very important that you honor, you appreciate, you celebrate your father. Yeah? And one of those things is sending money to your father. Learn to send money to your father. When you send money to your father, it's a proof, it's an evidence that you honor them. When you call them, when you check up on them, it's an evidence that you honor your father. So those are the 4 things that I wanted us to learn today. Things that you should never do against your father. Number 1, you have said that never mock your father. Number 2, you have said never make a move against your father. Number 3, you have said never forget what your father has done for you. Number 4, you have said never repay good with evil. Thank you for joining me today. I know that you have learned something. Please make sure that you practice that which you have learning. I want to encourage you to subscribe and also to watch all the videos, including the devotions. Be blessed.